Hey guys! I've been meaning to make the second video of this game dev series, and I promised myself that I'll continue my current study after I finish editing this. So here I am. As for my study, I am getting used to the Unity interface. I gotta say, I have struggled a lot in the past, but this time I think I'm starting to like it more now. But anyways, today I'd like to go through how I got to designing my character, Melonie. Everything started from these 3D objects I made during school. I made a bag, and I made a book, and I made a potion bottle. They are all based on cat themes. And then I remember questioning myself, who exactly owns these objects? I know I've always wanted to make some kind of story, but I never knew how, and I never really had a character in mind. By the way, I really enjoy taking a walk in nature. I probably don't do enough of it, considering how much I stay inside, but one of the things you get to do when you are in, say, forest is that you get to watch birds. We oftentimes get to see some fantail, sometimes tui if you're lucky, and there's many more other birds too. Bird watching these days might not be a common hobby for many anymore, but I always had a fascination with the idea. So then I randomly thought that perhaps this character that I'm trying to make is a person who enjoys watching, maybe not birds, but cats. Although we see cats in our daily lives, I still think that their lives could also be interesting enough to follow. Whatever they end up doing, I think most of us could agree that watching cats is a delightful pastime activity. And so the first Melonie was born. Start of 2022, January. I was just getting in the habit of sketching in my book. While thinking about what games I wanted to make, this day I sketched this. Inspired by games I've played in the past, I always wanted to make a 2D platform game. Sometimes when I'm bored, I get images of potential game art style in my head. And so I colored this sketch and uploaded it in a way that, not really thinking it was going to be anything, but just an idea to dump on my Instagram. Then I started thinking about what this girl does, and she didn't have a name at this time. So I'm writing notes in my book, what her thought patterns are like, and what kind of things does she see in her town. Those were the things that I was kind of thinking in back of my mind. And so her presence was growing for me. So anyway, I decided to share my sketch on Instagram, and my friends helped me name this character. From many good suggestions, I decided to go with Melonie Maple. Why did I pick that name? Because I just really like the sound of it. It's really that simple. I'm not going to pretend that I know how to do something that I don't, so I will say that up until this point, because of my lack of experience coming up with a full-on story for a character, I am going about this very blindly. My first feeling was that I wanted to see her at a part-time job. This will be the location where most of the characters come and gather, and Melonie will be interacting with them. I'm thinking that this is where the stories start. I would love to show you soon the other characters that will appear in this location. And then I wanted to see what she's like outside of her working hours. Like, what does she do in her day-to-day and how does she react to things? So in this particular image, I drew her where she's just waking up and she's got work that day, and wanted to demonstrate that she's actually not a morning person. And she's actually going to be late to work. And why is she late to work? It's because she can't decide what t-shirt to wear that day. Is it relatable? Not relatable? I'm not sure what kind of person you are, but I'm slowly figuring out who she is, and I hope to tie it into a story of this game. This way of brainstorming is possibly a slower way to come up with a character's idea, but so far I've been enjoying this process to conceptualize who the characters are. And I hope I'm doing enough explanation and providing enough concept art that is enjoyable for you guys to follow as well. That was most of the art side of things, and I guess story side. There is one thing I can show you that is more on the technical side, which is avatar animation test that I've made. In Unity, it has its own animation system. You can import your assets and parts, which then you can use keyframes to create animations. In the past, I've used animation software such as Spine or After Effects, so if you're familiar with those softwares, it will come natural to you. I just watched one YouTube video and it pretty much got me understand how it works, so that was pretty awesome. And making this really got me excited, as I can see something that I vision moving in front of me. And it got me thinking that as soon as I start making all the assets for the world, I can start creating Melonie's town, which then she can start walking around, and as a player you can explore. And I think that sounds pretty neat. Okay, well that's all I have to share today. Until next time, bye!